Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am the Grand Cat and today we're going to look at the Sonic 3 movie Shadow on his motorcycle. It's just called the Shadow and Motorcycle. There it is, in the back of it, it shows you the Wave 1 set of figures, Sonic, Tails, Shadow and Robotnik. Of course in Wave 2 we get Supersonic, Tails with a mascot head, Shadow again and Knuckles. This one only has 13 points for articulation, whereas the other figure had 22 points for articulation, so that's a little bit interesting. This is a different figure, although it does use the exact same head sculpt here on Shadow, but it's less articulate, and we're going to have to work out how to cut this open. My goodness. For anyone that is new to my channel, I show the entire unboxing, all the way from the beginning straight through to the end of it, so a lot of YouTubers would just cut away and just jump cut to the figure being opened. I like to let my viewers see literally everything from beginning to end of the unboxing process, so that you guys can all see exactly what you should receive if you order this for yourself. Okay, so it's got its own little cardboard thing here, and it's having a little bit of trouble coming out. You just need to give it a little bit of persuasion. It seems to be caught in something. We're not keeping the box for this, so we are happy to destroy it. Oh my goodness, it's really caught on to something. There. Okay, there we go. So it seemed to be this little part here that was the issue. It was keeping it locked in. Okay, now how do we get Shadow off of here? We have these zip ties at the bottom, and that looks like that's going to be pretty irritating to cut through. Let's try our best here. Oh, they cut easier than I expected. Well, one did at least. Okay, there we go. Second one. Because we have the zip ties off of the wheels of the bike. This part here is moulded onto the back here, and it looks like we're going to have to cut Shadow out of here anyway, so let's just go ahead and cut through these little parts here without damaging the figure, preferably. Now, is that enough? Oh no, the hand is also cut in there. Now, is that enough to remove him? I think there's still something. Okay, so this part is actually attached to the bike. And there we go, we've managed to release our Shadow figure from his prison. So, let's take a look at our interesting little Hedgehog on bike here. So of course I'm going to be keeping him on the bike, so this little plastic bit here that keeps the leg intact may actually just stay on here for me. I know there's a little plastic bit here that's a little bit annoying. Maybe I will take it off actually. But yeah, the whole purpose, so this one, there's no butterfly joint in the shoulder. It's just a ball point in the shoulder. They still have the ball point in the elbow. I don't know about the wrist, how much articulation it has, but the fingers don't open up. They are constantly in this gripping motion, which is presumably designed for holding onto the bike, which we need to work out how we are going to get that into said position. The wheels, of course, rotate on the bike. I think this little part here moves. So one of his wrists is actually has a little thing around this part here to keep this part onto the bike, and if I can, I'm going to try and keep that on there, because the whole purpose of this figure is just to be on the bike. We have an entire separate figure that is for all of the articulation, Okay, so now that we've got the hand on there, we just need to move the wrist and elbow down, which may not be as easy as I initially thought. Okay, there we go. That doesn't look so bad, actually. Now, right, okay, so there is a little bike pedal here. So, in order to get to it, we have to cut this off. So unfortunately we do need to cut this off, which I was really hoping to keep on there, just to keep my figure on. But there we go. So if you bring the little bike pedal down, then your figure can then stand, because if you don't, he is 100% going to fall over every single time. So this is interesting here. So it's got the little text here, but on this side it has your kind of hot stamp on it of, you know, the CE and made in China and all this kind of stuff. So that's interesting. So he does have knee joints that are on ball points. I don't know about the feet or the hips, because I'm going to try to not remove him from the bike if I can help it, because this is exactly the way that I want to keep my figure, just like that, for big old Shadow the Hedgehog. And let's do a little comparison, just for interest's sake, because I've got the original Shadow the Hedgehog on his bike, and this is of course from the Shadow the Hedgehog game, and he is very much leaning to the side. He's a little bit dusty because he has been a little bit in storage, but I brought him down for this just so that people could see the difference, and he really seems to want to lean to the side for some reason here. I don't know what that is about. There is a little stand here at the base, but it currently doesn't seem to be doing an awful lot. But there you go. There is the original Shadow the Hedgehog, which I believe was a Xbox 360 game. I think it was also on PlayStation. I'm not entirely sure about that one, but I certainly played it on the Xbox, and he obviously had the sort of Harley Davidson style low back rider sort of motorcycle here, and obviously you can see that this wasn't Jack specific. This was the former company whose name is currently eluding me, but they made all of the original computer game characters in this particular style, and before Jack Specific took up the mantle of it, whereas the new movie Sonic, of course, or the new movie Shadow, sorry, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 movie, is an entirely different bike. It's more of a kind of sports bike. It's the kind that you sort of lean into rather than sit back on. So very different style for Shadow here, but I think they are going for a slightly different style for Shadow. I'm going to be very interested in seeing what the movie is like. It comes out in 2.5 months at the point of recording. And there we... Oh my goodness. There we go. There we can do a quick little 360 of our hedgehog. We need to just move that up just a little bit so that you can properly see him. And there we are. There is our Shadow on his motorcycle. I think it's a really cool little figure, actually. And it does have the same head sculpt as the movie figure. It seems to be to the same scale as the movie figure as well. I'm hoping that isn't going to touch your wrist. Nope, you know, we're fine. So there you can see. But, you know, I did say that it was the same head, but actually I don't think it is, now that I'm seeing them beside one another. And one of the key differences is the eyes. So with this Shadow, you can see here that there's a sort of glass effect in that the eyes are actually a little bit further back, like as if they've put a sort of glass kind of effect over the eyes. Whereas this one, the eyes are a lot more cartoonish, like, where it's just literally painted on to the figure cast. If I were to guess, I would think the Shadow and the Bike figure was created, not released, but created before this new line of figures here for the Sonic movie. Because I'm willing to bet that if they made this bike with this Shadow figure first, they'd probably just used the same model. But this has an entirely different chest. Of course, it doesn't have the stomach swivel that this one does. The eyes are different, and there's also a little bit of colour difference between the black and red quills between the two different the two different Shadow figures. So that's very interesting. Even the base of the feet look a little bit different. I mean, this is two different figures. It's just two different figures that look very, very similar to one another. And I don't know why on earth they would do that. I don't know why they wouldn't just reuse the figure. I mean, they did reuse the figure, because Wave 2 of Shadow just looks exactly the same as Wave 1 of Shadow, with just a different mouthpiece. Which the only reason I can imagine they're doing that is because they think Shadow's going to be so popular, it's going to sell out in Wave 1, and the kids are still going to want him by Wave 2, so they just released the same Shadow figure in Wave 2. That is my presumption. And not unless they're trying to swerve us and Wave 2 is actually Super Shadow, and maybe Super Shadow is a big spoiler for the Sonic 3 movie. That could also be a possibility, considering Wave 2 does have Super Sonic in it, so maybe Wave 1 has Shadow and Wave 2 has Super Shadow. Also a possibility. But there we go, folks, that is going to be it for this little video. I really hope that you all enjoyed. I think this is a lovely little figure. I would definitely recommend it to anyone. It's available in Smiths in the UK just now. As for other retailers, I don't know when it's going to be available. I didn't expect these to come out until December, and I was shocked to see them available at the start of October. So absolutely crazy. But that's going to be it for this little video, folks. I hope you all enjoyed. And if you did enjoy it, please give me a like, share, and subscribe. And if you are subscribed, make sure you click that notification icon so you can see when more of these glorious little videos go out. And we shall see you all in the next video. Goodbye, everybody.